rates. In other news, a top Arab-Israeli virus official says criticism of the Arab community is not unwarranted. Ayman Saif saying many are not following the coronavirus guidelines. He is also defending Professor Ronnie Gamzu, who heads up the country's fight against COVID-19, for the controversial comments he made in recent days. Gamzu has apologized for saying the infection rates within the Arab-Israeli community are like a terror attack. Saif saying the professor's words were well-intended and not without justification. So for more on the situation in East Jerusalem, we now cross live to our Middle East correspondent, Emily Rose. Emily, I believe you are now at a testing station. So much concern about the coronavirus infection rates in certain parts of the country. What is the latest where you are at the moment?
Yes, Benita, 44%. It's a worrisome number. It's the number of those who are tested in East Jerusalem that seem to be coming up positive. That's about 11 times the overall national average in Israel. So a sharp spike. I'm just going to show you what's happening behind me, because here is one of two stations that have been set up here for the residents of East Jerusalem to test them. This is a drive-through testing center. It's being manned by Magen David Adom. That's the Israeli version of the Red Cross, as well as the Israeli military. And you can see the protocol here is that there's a line of cars that are actually standing in front of me. They're lined up here, and they're going to drive through this booth that you're looking at. They're tested by the people in those booths, and then they continue. They don't get out of their car. They're tested in their car, and then they continue driving, and then the results are delivered to them to their phones, to their mobile phones, or via email and or through their primary caregiver. So that's how they're notified of the results of the tests. Now, this is important because earlier today we heard an interview given by Moshe Leon. He's the mayor of Jerusalem, and he was calling for more drive-through testing centers in East Jerusalem just for that reason, because we're seeing such a sharp spike. So it seems to be that this is one of several actions that will be taken here in East Jerusalem to try to bolster the number of testings that are being done here in the eastern part of the city, and try to address this recent spike that we're seeing for the Arab residents here of East Jerusalem.
Thank you so much. Middle East correspondent Emily Rose, live from East Jerusalem. More from Emily to come in the coming hours. Well, Israeli police are investigating after a Palestinian man was shot and wounded by Israeli security forces at a West Bank checkpoint on Monday.